What's up, guys? We're about to get started. I'm just going to put out a message real quick, let everybody know we're starting now, and we'll go over the watch list. Make sure I can see everybody in the chat. So put in the chat or in Discord, whatever you, probably in the chat would probably be easier. Just put the tickers that you want to see and like any specific stocks you want me to go over. Just put those in the chat, and yeah, we'll go from there. Tesla, I knew I was going to get that one. Okay. So we're going to go over my watch list first. I'm just going to give you guys a little insight into what I'm looking at going into this week. And did I? Okay. So, first thing we're going to be looking at is, there we go, CVX. So the reason I'm looking at this stock is because if you look at candlestick chart, we have a pretty clear symmetrical triangle that's showing up here. I mean, it's pretty obvious if you can see it. I already drew it out. But if we go down to the daily chart, I like to look at a lot of my things, like my charts on the weekly time frame. That's where I get most of my trade ideas, just because that's what I prefer. I find them to be the most powerful and the best results that way. So basically, the reason why I'm looking at this is because we have a pretty obvious support here. Might move that down just a little bit. But we have a pretty obvious support right here. We played this bounce the other day on Monday that ended up going 50% and sold it at this trend line and sold some of it before FOMC. But basically what I'm looking for here is we're just squeezing right here. And if you can see, we're kind of setting up an inverse head and shoulders. It might look a little wonky, but it's still valid. If you can see, inverse head and shoulders here, and then, but most obviously we're setting up symmetrical triangle. And I'm looking at September expos, and I'm looking for this gap here to be filled. We got a gap up here to be filled all the way up to 75, and that's a pretty easy 100% gainer. That seems pretty obvious. And especially with the way Oxy was running the other day, because Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett has been buying a lot of shares of this, and that's why this popped on Friday. So that's definitely a name that I'm going to be watching going into next week. Another one, QCOM. So we've been bouncing off the support here so many times, and it's been really obvious every time we've bounced. We've made huge runs after. And right now, we're kind of consolidating. And at this point, we want to see we're building a bull flag. Like, we broke out of a falling wedge, broke out, had a strong breakout. The only thing I think that could mess this play up is the overall market falling down. But we have a clear bear or bull flag that's being built here. And I know if you watch the videos that I put out before, on how I draw my support and resistance, I do it on the line chart, and a lot of you guys will figure out that I draw them pretty much all on the weekly chart. I take all my levels come from the weekly chart, and my trade ideas come from the weekly chart. So you can see that it leaves a little bit of price action out. It takes out the extra noise. That's why it doesn't come all the way down to these trend lines. But when you change it over to a candle chart, it obviously fills out a lot more and makes it a lot more obvious to see. But basically what I'm looking for here is a move, a break out of the bear flag or bull flag, like one way or the other. I'm leaning more bullish. And the most important support that I'm looking for to hold, I want to see it break this level here, as we had a strong rejection here. But I also want to see a hold here, for which would be a suitable entry. That's probably where I would like to get in, around the 145 area. And yeah, that's what I'm looking at for QCOM. We'll see if that holds. But I also have some bearish setups too. I got a lot of things here that I'm going to narrow down as the week goes on. I typically like to get into my plays about like probably 15 minutes before the market closes, so I can see a full daily candle and how it responds, how much volume's coming in, and what that final candle looks like, so I can get the most information before I decide to swing a play. And so that's kind of what that's what I'll be looking for. So like a hammer off of this support, the 145 support would be perfect for me. That's kind of what I would be looking for in QCOM. This is probably one of my favorite setups here. And also to mention, guys, put your setups that you want to see in the chat, and I can go over them as long as time permits. And yeah, next one we're looking at Nike. This one, I just think it is a good looking setup. Nothing really more to it. We have this channel that we've been building for a while. We're going back and forth, back and forth. Ideal entry would be more so something up here, but we'll just have to see how the market reacts. I don't really know. Not positive if it's just a pullback in the market to go higher, or we're headed back down to new lows. I'm not really sure. So that's what we're going to be waiting for, to kind of see how the market reacts in that situation. But yeah, this is what we're looking for. We're building a channel, which essentially really is a bear flag. So that's what I'm looking for here, to see a breakdown of this, or even another play. If we turn bullish, another thing we could play is just a bounce off this trend line, because we are in an uptrend in this, and we broke this trend line here. So it could easily bounce right here. This seems to be some sort of support where it closed at. So I'll be watching that as well. And yeah, so next thing we're going to look at AMD. I really like the setup here on AMD. Basically, we're at strong support here, so we could either see a move down and a move to the upside, like a hold of this support here. This is kind of like a supply zone here, or demand zone, and we could easily see a bounce here to have a move up. We have this nice channel forming though, so like if we do see a breakdown below this, we could easily go see $85, and ultimately, like, we would probably have a move down to here about $60 if the market does end up tanking. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here. And yeah, I'm watching it just playing out in this little trend. But the other thing you could see is inverse head and shoulders. So this could definitely be forming a inverse head and shoulders, which you still could play the downside, but could easily see a huge move to the upside after. So something maybe like this to a breakout to the upside. That's something longer term that I would be looking for, and would be a really easy setup to get into. So let me know if you guys have questions. Let me know in the chat if you do have questions. I'm seeing you guys putting in your trades that you want me to go over, or stocks. But so Disney is another one I'm looking at. And you can call this an inverted hammer or a shooting star. Really, the idea is still the same. This candle is pretty bearish, and we're at a super strong resistance. As you can see, look at how we had a double top here and a huge move down both times to at least $100 both times. So that's also, this is a level that I'm just watching. It's kind of more of a zone because we had rejection here, and then also a huge bounce here. So my whole thing is I play off of key levels, which is like basically turning points within the market. So for example, like we had a bounce here, a rejection. And then when we had a bounce here, we had a move all the way up to, what is that? We had to move all the way up to 180, almost $200. So every time we've came to this level, we've had a huge reaction. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. The same with Disney, and it's a pretty easy setup, especially with the market being bearish as it is. And then we also have a gap to fill down to 112. So this could be a pretty easy play, just to play the downside. So Yeah, that's what I'm looking for in Disney. Let's go to Meta. This one just kind of got some levels that I'm watching. We've been consolidating in this range for a while. Honestly, I don't even know why I have this on. Like, oh, this is the level I'm watching here where we had pretty strong reactions to the upside, and just holding it. It's been a pretty strong support level and resistance. So I'm looking to see how that just plays out. This isn't necessarily on my watch list per se, so I'm honestly going to remove it. I added these on Friday, and I've looked through them a little bit, but haven't solidified. These are basically things that I go into looking to tomorrow, and then I'll probably narrow them down. So basically, I would expect you guys kind of do the same if you're going to follow this watch list. Just kind of do the same thing. Like, take these ones and take probably at most 10 of the ones that you like the best. Same thing here. PFE holding a strong support, right? And couple nice hammer candles to hold this support, and we're forming this symmetrical triangle, which could easily have a move up to $61. So that's like 20% in the stock. So that's a pretty big move. So I'm looking to see which side or which way this is going to break out. But we've got a lot of support below, so I wouldn't be surprised if we broke upside, especially with the market being bullish recently. If we're just having a pullback, then that's something I could see happening. X, this is kind of just forming like some sort of bull flag, falling channel type deal. And we have a nice bearish candle on the weekly, rejecting this support level or resistance level, sorry. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm not necessarily going to be watching this level as much, but watching this entire range. See how every time we came down, bounced up, came down, bounced up, came down, bounced up. I'm kind of looking for the same. And this could be an easy move back to $16. And that's an $8 move in a $23 stock. That's almost 50% on the stock. So that's something that I would be looking for as well for X. Here, this is just a simple break and retest play for Unity. I don't know, Unity software. It was consolidating in this range for a while. And so basically what I'm looking for is just the stock to come down. It's already came down, so I want to see if it holds this level, and we could see it's pretty much just a break and retest, and we could easily see a move back up to here. I mean, somewhere around here. If you prefer to look at it this way, this is how I go about drawing my levels. Probably the next level I would have is here and here. That's the moves I was looking for. This is a really simple play. That's why I put it on my watch list. I really like the way it looks. So yeah, Uber, I could definitely see more downside on this. We're in a kind of choppy spot right here. So I'm kind of looking for it either to break 33 or break below 28.50, and for either downside or upside. Just playing this is kind of just a neutral trade. I'm not biased either way. I could see it going either way. Netflix, I missed my entry the other day on this. I was looking for the rejection of 250 around that area, and we sure did get that, and I'm waiting to see maybe if it will come back up to that area. And you can see when it came and rejected this area, the 250 level, it broke down pretty hard. But I'm not liking all these wicks to the downside, so I'm not very confident in this. It's just something I want to see. If we broke upside, I'd like to play that. TSM, man, I got a lot of tickers on here. TSM, I'm just looking for basically a play in between these two levels, the 83 level and the 94 level, just to see if we bounce here or reject up there. It's kind of neutral position as well. This one, I really like. This is the real estate sector. I'm basically looking for a move. I'm kind of just looking for a move basically below. I like these two huge bounces we've had here and here. So I'm kind of looking for maybe the break and retest of this level as well. We broke below it on Friday. I'm looking for maybe a retracement, retest this level, and it's right around the 100 range, and look for a move back down, potentially to first target would probably be a safer entry would be below 100, to be completely honest. But I do like this rejection. I would probably take it on this rejection. I wouldn't worry about any of the rest. I would take it on this rejection. So yeah, that's how I go about playing IYR. Crowd, this is probably one of my favorite setups. We just got some sort of rising wedge after we broke this head and shoulders. If you look at the weekly, it's pretty obvious. Shoulder, head, shoulder, and then now we've been consolidating up, and I'm looking for a breakdown. Just, we might have gotten that on Friday. I would want to see it break below this 190 level ish and see it break down from there. That's what I'm looking for. And the bottom of these targets are usually a magnet. So like anytime you see a pattern, the bottom of the pattern or the top of the pattern, depending on if it's bullish or bearish, you will look for a move back down to where that started. So basically I'd be looking for a move back down to 130. I would probably trim along the way, obviously, because that's a far way down, but ultimately the ultimate target would be here. This is where my risk reward would come in, and this is kind of what I would look for. And that's why I like this play so much, is because there's a large potential for reward here, rather than not much risk. Dash, we were in a bear flag, strong move down, consolidating, bear flag. We broke down. I kind of want to see a retest of this 165 type level, and then a move back down from there. So that's what I'm looking for here, to potentially go to new lows. So like it's a $10, about a $10 move, and MACD is crossing over, and that looks pretty good as well. So I'm kind of looking for the same thing there. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. In Dash, Cat is in between two really strong levels. As you can see, we've been consolidating pretty hard in between these two. So I'm looking for a break above or below. And that's how I'll play this. I won't play the actual break. I'll play the break and retest if we get it. I don't like to play just normal breaks. There's too many liquidity grabs and fake outs and things like that that I don't like to play. So I'm looking for a break above or below on this. That's really it. Target. We've got a strong level here that we're rejecting. And if you look at the weekly chart, a perfect inverted hammer, and that's got easily a lot of downside on it, that I would be interested in playing. So that's a pretty easy move, or even just a retest to this bull flag type thing we have going on here. Yeah, so I would be looking for that as well. Twitter, I thought we had a strong level here, but nothing that I like too much. I'm gonna delete this one. T, I really like this one. Okay, we got, you can see it even on the line chart, inverse head and shoulders here. Shoulder, head, shoulder is being built. And if you look at the weekly chart, we've got a hammer forming on at support, and this could be a huge move. Every time we came down to this area here, we've had a move back up pretty strong. So I'm looking for the same thing and potentially catching a break to the upside after that. So basically the stock's at 18 bucks. I'm looking for a move to $22 or $21.50 around there. And catching that move and potentially the break to the upside after that. I am in some January calls for this because I like the setup a lot, and I entered in it early, just bought some time. We're at a support level there. I'm not risking much. I'm risking 20 cents to make $3. So really strong risk reward. I don't even know what that is calculated. Probably 1 to 5, a little over 1 to 15 risk reward. So that's what I'm looking for here. But that's a longer term play. This stock moves slow, and that's why I bought some time on it. But yeah, because each of these are considered to be weekly candles, so it moves per week. Each candle's a week. This one, I noticed this morning. It's at a strong support level. If you look on the line chart, last time we came here and had a huge rejection and had a huge breakdown, kind of like this just area. And then the last time we came to this area, we had a move. We were at around $70. We had to move all the way up to $90 ultimately. So I'm not necessarily looking for that exactly, but I'm looking for something maybe similar. Basically just a break to the upside here. And if you look on the daily time frame, we got like a inverse head and shoulders kind of forming. If you can't tell, that's my favorite pattern to play. But inverse head and shoulders, so shoulder, head, shoulder, and then we got like some sort of hammer with pretty decent volume here, and buyers keeps wicking, so buyer keeps stepping in. If you look at the lower time frames, we had a nice hammer there as well with some pretty decent volume, and then buyer stepping into. So, and we got a little gap to fill here as well. So up to 69, which is not the move we're looking for, but yeah, we had a nice hammer here. So if the market's bullish, I would be interested in going long here. And the January contracts have a lot of open interest in them, particularly I think it was the 70, maybe the 80, $80 contracts. But yeah, I'm looking for a move for that as well. This one I'm not too excited about. I don't like the way it moves, so I'm actually going to delete it. Zillow, I missed the entry that I really wanted. But I'm going to look for maybe a retest here or a break below this 33.60 level to catch it down to the downside. But yeah, we had a perfect bull flag and then coming up and rejected this 40 level. If you go and look at the line chart, it'll make, if you're wondering how I get these levels, it's pretty easy. Like basically what I did was I just took this right here. That's all I did. Like all I did, I'm looking at turning points on the chart, on the weekly chart. And here's a turning point where price came up, completely rejected it and fell hard. That's all I'm looking for. And like, this is like a very strong support here. This is a very strong, because like I'm basically playing moves when they come down to a level and just the price absolutely turns to a different way. So like, if you look here, we came down to this level and then look at the insane move we had after that. Came down to this level, insane move. Came down this level, insane move. And this happened 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times in a row that this stock has came to this level. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for these turning points, and I like to play the turning points. It's not even necessarily 2 touches, 3 touches, whatever. I'm just looking for the turning points. So I know I told you guys to post what you're looking for, or stocks you want to be looking at in the chat, and I'll go over those real quick. Tesla has a good catalyst for today or for this week, just because there's a lot of things, or the stock split is coming and stocks like to run into the stock split and then sell off after and then run again. So I'm kind of looking for the same thing to happen. Where I would play this, honestly, is I would look for a hold of support here. I want to draw up this 880 level. Like I would be looking for a hold here. And I think we had a nice hammer where buyers were stepping in already and had somewhat decent volume for a Friday. But the only thing I would watch out for is we got a double top here. This is a double top. We couldn't make higher highs. We'll see if this holds 880, and then I could see this move, a $50 move, which would be beautiful. That's what we would love to see. So yeah, that's what I would be looking for in Tesla. Let me know if you want more explanation on that or need it. But that's kind of what I'd be watching. I'd be playing these 2 levels here. You could catch the break to the upside. So when I say break and retest, I would look for something like this, like a break up, breaks above it. I would not buy it here personally. I'd wait for a comeback down, retest this level, so come back and see if it holds as support, and then have the move to the upside there. And my first profit target would probably be 974, just by looking at the chart right away. That's what I'd be looking for. Okay. Let me know if that helps. If you got more questions on that. But yeah, that's pretty easy, self-explanatory. And same with the other way around. Like if it ends up turning bearish, I don't think this would be the first stock I would jump to go bearish on because of the stock split coming up. So I personally probably wouldn't be bearish on this just for this week, just because of the catalyst it has. Let's see. Shop has been, I've not liked this stock recently. It's just been annoying me. I did, because if you look on the daily chart, we were in this range, up and down, up and down, up and down, and holding this level as well. And what happened is that I played this initially on whatever day this was, and I got stopped out the next day almost, or this day here when we couldn't hold above. But like this was a really big fake out. I thought for sure it was consolidating for months in this range, and then we had these holds, multiple holds with solid volume, and we couldn't break above. And we had a gap to fill. We had a gap to fill above and still couldn't do it. So we had this gap right here to still fill. I don't like this. I don't like where it's at now. It's kind of like, as you can see, we've been bouncing around these two levels for so long, and we thought we were going to break out. It failed, and now we're back in this chop zone. So I'm not really interested in playing in this chop zone, besides if we had maybe a move like this, where we came up to this level and then had to break back down to that level. I played this a few different times, just playing the bounces off support, rejections off resistance. But personally, I would only be playing bounces and rejections off these levels here. Like I wouldn't be doing anything more like in between here, because you're just going to get chopped up. You're going to get stopped out because you're just trading in the middle of nowhere. So the only thing I'd be playing is bounces or injections off this level, or breakouts after that to see it break out. Let's see. TTD. And if you guys need more explanation on any of these, let me know. And I can definitely help. The trade desk. I have not looked at this at all. Okay. So what I'm seeing initially is we got resistance there. And take note, like when I'm drawing these resistance and support levels, I'm only drawing ones that have big reactions. Like, sure, this is a somewhat of a reaction, but I like this move down much better and this move up much better. So I just like to play these key levels and just trim on the way down. Let's see. That looks, so basically right now we're at support. This is somewhat of a support. So I would be looking to play this here, or looking between these two levels to see which way it's going to go. We got a gap to fill. So yeah, and it's looking pretty bearish. So I mean, we get a breakdown from here. We already started filling the gap. So ideal entry would be a rejection of here, this level. But if you get a breakdown and retest, so break below, retest. Oh my, okay, you get what I'm saying. Break below, come back up, test that level, break back down. That's what I would be looking for. Kind of like a move like that. Break down, come back, and retest, break down. That's what I would be looking for there. But besides that, it looks a little sketchy with the way it's moving. But yeah, that's what I would be looking for. So let's see, next one, Nvidia I do like on the weekly time frame. This, like I said with AMD, this could be forming an inverse head and shoulders. This one looks a little more kind of wonky, but shoulder, head, we could be coming back down to 160 to create that other shoulder and have a break to the upside. So I'm looking for something similar there. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for here. But right now we're rejecting this 188, 190 area. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more downside to 160. And then from there, that's the level I'd really want to watch. And then this is the neckline here for the inverse head and shoulders. So then I could see the move down here. And then a move up like that, something like that. That's what I would be looking for personally. But this setup may need some time, unless you want to play that breakdown of the where it's going to form this other shoulder. That could be a very valid play. It's just the risk reward is not. I mean, it's there, but not something I'd want to play personally. But it could be setting up in the near future for sure. Fubu. Everybody's saying Fubu. Okay. This is a meme stock. I don't really trade meme stocks, but we can take a look at it. Okay, so we got a level here. Let's look on the weekly first. Oh, okay. So there, I like that. Honestly, if anything, I would be playing this here, that level right there. That's the level I would be playing. If I was to play anything, like look at this strong wake up. Immediately, as soon as people got in and had this move up, everybody got out pretty much. Like when it got up to $8, it moved 50% and everybody got out. So like I don't really see it moving. I don't know. I don't really like the way that looks. So basically I'd want to see, we had the break, right? Now I'd want to see the retest here. And then I'd probably go for the gap fill here. But if we have any sort of pullback and you're playing calls, you're going to get completely burned on premium on your options contracts. And if you don't know how that works, IV, implied volatility on option contracts, go to the outsourced education tab. I got stuff on that. And I also talk about it in one of the other webinars in the webinar recordings. But that's why I don't typically play meme stocks unless they're shares. So if you're going to play this, I'd probably go with shares. And I'd look for this, a bounce off of this area, but preferably off the $3 level. Let me know if you got questions on that one. Coinbase. Fubu, I think 84 and Coinbase 70. Coinbase, I think it did look good. Like it really did. It looked like it was good until we had that breakdown. So now I don't really know. I think we just see more downside for now. Like that, I think that's what we're going to see, more downside for here. Just because now we're back in this kind of chop zone. So I don't really have an opinion on this. I think we'll probably continue to see downside realistically. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it that much. Just because I mean, we had a breakdown. I thought we were going to break upside and we could have a huge move, but we filled this gap. And then I think everybody just gave up on it. And now we're kind of just like, nobody wants to be in it now. And the options contracts, the IV is insanely high on those as well. So that's something you also want to watch out for. That's not a good thing to see. Snow. Let me know if you got snow. This is what I got drawn for snow. I didn't look at it before, but this is what I got drawn. Initial levels I'd be looking at here. And then here. And here. This is the level I'd like to play. See that strong reaction? That's what I'm looking for. This one's okay, but we don't really have any other levels around here. So this is the other one I'd be looking for, I guess. I don't really know where I got this level from. I'm just going to delete it. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking for. I'd be looking for maybe we have a bear flag breakdown here. If you go and look, Like if I draw this out real quick, something like this. It's not perfect, but you get what the gist. We had a bear flag breakdown, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. We had a breakdown. I'm not going to play the initial breakdown. That's when premiums are jacked up. We got the MACD crossing. I'm pretty bearish, honestly. This is a pretty good setup. This is a good setup to go short on. I'm going to add it. So yeah, I do like that one. I would probably play the retest of this 160 level, and then I'd play it down to 143. Personally, that's how I would play it, and trim it on the way down, trim at 50%, then wait for this next level here. But yeah, that's what I would look for here. It's a nice breakdown of a bear flag, and that's how I'd play this one. I like it though. I do like that one. But yeah, that's really it, guys. If you have any more questions, let me know. If you got more stocks that you want me to look at, tag me in the chat. But from here, I mean, really, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. That's my watch list. I'll post the full list so you guys have them. And if you have more questions on them, just message me in the trade floor and we can get after it. Okay, so I will see you guys on tomorrow. And yeah, we'll make some great trades this week and make it a good week. Thank you guys for coming. Have a good week. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow.